Hello, hello, hello. I put my hat on again so you would know who I am. Can you see me down there? Okay, I'm going to make more cookies now. I guess I could have you look at me. Using the Joy of Cooking cookbook, and I'm on page 708. Quick oatmeal or wheat flake cookies. We're going to make oatmeal cookies. And I'm using the recipe because sometimes it's a little too gooey. Not sure what I'm doing wrong. So I'm going to just go back to the recipe after 30 years. Oh, that was the sound that these cookies are ready to go in. "10 minutes is what they need. Okay, so we're going to work on oatmeal cookies together. Here we go. Get all cozy again. Okay, so now we're going to use half a cup of butter, but I like to quadruple the recipe because I like to use the whole container at once. I know, sounds crazy. Crazy broad. Okay, so I take a whole thing of that, which is 2 cups. So that's 4 times the recipe. I know I said that, but that was for those of you that weren't thinking. They were too busy looking at other things. They weren't listening. Okay, now we need a half a cup of firmly packed brown sugar and a half a cup of granulated sugar. Now, since the way to make brown sugar is to add molasses, I'll just add it to the whole thing. So 1 cup of light brown sugar. But I'm quadrupling it, so I need 4 cups, okay? So 4 cups of sugar. This is so that I can give them away for Christmas. 1, oh, that's 2, I'm sorry. 2 cups. 2 cups, you don't fill it right to the very top. 2 cups, that's 4 cups of sugar, and now we will make it brown. And we'll get our handy dandy cup or container here of molasses. Okay. I like molasses. It's good for you. It has iron in it. And other things. Now you could either just add it all to the sugar, or you can add it to the 2 of them, because it's all going to go into the same cookies. It's going to be mixed anyway. Of course, you know, this is maybe more liquid than it wanted, so maybe that's what's making my cookies get too soft. See what a good cookie mixing bowl of these ice cream containers make? Don't throw them out. They're good pieces of good utensils. And one day when we have no more plastic, these things will be so hard to come by. Think, oh, I remember those. These things used to come in plastic. Oh, man. Yeah, we had them everywhere. You couldn't get rid of them. Okay, now we're quadrupling the recipe. It needs 4 eggs. So we're going to put in 4 eggs. One, 2. Hey, that person's really right. He or she said to crack them on the table. And then you don't get shells in them. So smart, so smart. Okay, so we have 4 eggs. And we need a teaspoon of vanilla. Once again, I use artificial vanilla. Oops. And the lid is 1 teaspoon. That's going to make me need an extra tablespoon of flour because I spilled it. But it doesn't matter because I know the feel of when it's done anyway. Had to check the time. Okay, and then we need, now this stuff you need to mix together. A cup of sifted all-purpose flour. So we're going to quadruple that. That's going to be 4. But if you want it, you can mix all your things with that first cup of flour. You can mix your baking powder and baking soda and salt. You can mix it all together. I don't need salt because I'm using margarine, which is full of salt. You can mix that together in 1 cup and stir that completely into your batter. And then you can add your other flour. That's the way you know that you've gotten all those things in. Okay, so let's do that now. Let's take, this is the rest of my eggs. This is the rest of the margarine too that I had in there at the beginning. Okay, so let's start out. We'll start out with 1 cup of flour. Which is about half of this, okay? 1 cup of flour, and we need in that a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So this is my baking powder. Where's my baking soda? Here it is. Okay. So now we're going to quadruple the recipe. So we're just going to use 1 cup to mix it all into, but we're going to quadruple it. So let's put in 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay, so that's 1 teaspoon. Sure, you can measure it if you want. It's not the same as a spoon for your coffee. It's 2 teaspoons of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, and then we're not going to add the salt. So now we mix this around. You don't want to open your mouth and get a whole mouthful of baking soda. That would be not fun. Okay, so now we've got this, and we're going to add this to the whole thing. And this way we'll know that all of those leavening ingredients have gotten in. And they'll be getting in. You need to mix it well so that those blend into all the batter. You don't leave batter down at the bottom that doesn't have any of those ingredients in it. Okay, so now we'll get our other 3 cups. One, 2, and on the top of what we had before. Good. I remember watching people, they hold this up in their hand and they beat it. Remember? My mother used to do that. Can't do it with this bowl. This is not a very solid, sturdy bowl. And make sure you scratch the bottom of the thing all the time so you don't end up with a whole bunch of flour down there on the bottom. Okay. Oatmeal cookies. So now we need 1 cup of oats, or since we're quadrupling the recipe, that's 4 cups of oats. Okay, just a moment there now. So 4 cups of oatmeal. I don't want it to fall over. Make sure you get it at the bottom. Okay, and then you can add chocolate chips, you can add orange rind, and you can add raisins. Hey, how come this is 10 minutes? I must be out of time. Okay, I almost ran over on that one. This is our cookies that we've just been cooking for 10 minutes. They're not quite brown, but they're solid, almost. We could brown them just a little bit. Put them in for a minute. Okay. Now back to this. We've got our stuff all added in there. Now let's add some raisins. It says 1 cup of raisins. This is optional. Okay. So we're going to quadruple it like we did before. So put 4 cups of raisins in here. Four cups of raisins, and it's optional to put in chocolate chips. Let's put in chocolate chips too. Up from the hiding spot. What's happening here? Ta-da! Got it down. Oh, we're done again. Was that a whole minute? Let's check them and see if they're golden now. They're not quite golden yet. Let's put them in for 1. Well, let's not. Let's leave them out. See my basket bottom? Yep. Well, here we are again. The batteries ran out. Let's check these cookies. Oh, we've got them out now. I think they look a little soft, but it's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. Oh, I gotta turn off the oven thing. Okay, now we have our raisins. And what about adding some chocolate chips? It says it's optional. 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. And what's 4 times 3/4? Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12 quarters, which is what? 3 cups. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So there's 2 cups. And we need 1 more cup. Let's look back up here. Let's see if we can get some more up from there. So we had a good deal on it. If you bought 2 packs, you got 1 pack free. So I did. Twice. Now there's a really good recipe on the back of the bag. That's the best chocolate chip recipe ever. That's the Toll House cookie recipe. Because these are Hershey's. So we'll put another, this was 2 cups, remember? So we'll take half of it, which will be 1 cup. Just try to make your life easier. Okay, now do you notice something about this bowl? What can you tell about this bowl? That's right, it's too small. But oh well. Who cares, really? It didn't used to be too small when I'd make these before. I put a lot more oatmeal in last time. Oopsie. You could just press these cookies into the cookie dough. These are going to be wonderful, aren't they? Yes, they will, indeed. Excuse me. Don't worry, I put my hands behind me when I sneeze, and I sneeze the other direction. It means my hands are still clean. La 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 la. Oh, you know, when you're making cookies, you should always have the next batch ready to go in. Well, you get one in, get the second cookie tray out, and get it ready to flop in. See, because we just made those spritz cookies, right? Now, my Aunt Laura, she used to say, I think it was her, she used to say you should bake a test cookie. You heat up your oven and you put in one cookie to make sure it comes out the right way. Well, I could never see wasting that much electricity on checking out a cookie. So, and I was probably too lazy or too impatient. My kids love my cookies, you know. I've been making cookies all their lives. That's why I'm so big. That's right, there's a reason. Okay, how's our time? Look at that. 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. So let's move it away. Now to put these on your, ooh, that was an egg that didn't come all the way out. Put these on your cookie tray. Now you do need to grease your cookie tray for these kind of cookies. They don't have more, they have more sugar than margarine. Now, this is all very bad for you. There are trans fats, I imagine, in here. It's 100% vegetable margarine, but you know, there probably is anyway. And the sugar is bad for you. It'll give you diabetes or any other thing. And the chocolate is addicting. And the flour will just put weight on, especially because it's white flour. So, and this is high fat, high carb. It's not high fat, is it? Fat. There's no fat in sugar. It's only carbs. This is your high carb excitement for the day. Now these, you see how I roll it into a little tube? And then this is called drop cookies. I've always made drop cookies. You could be doing it with a spoon the way it says, you know, like drop from rounded teaspoonfuls, but I've never been able to manage that. And why would I want to do it with a spoon when I can just do it this way? Since, of course, I did not sneeze on my hands. But even if you did sneeze on your hand, wouldn't the germs die in the heat of the oven? I know, I'm not doing it, I'm just asking. Just can't stop that inquisitive mind of mine. Maybe it's not hot enough to kill them. Now these are gonna get bigger, so it's probably a good idea not to put them right on the edge, because they might go right off. And you should try and keep your cookies all the same sort of size. Just eyeball it. Otherwise, you're going to have, some are going to be done and the others aren't. They really all need to be done at the same time. Otherwise, you're going to end up with some burning. There, how does that look? Are they all exactly the same? Hard to tell. Okay, and then these go in the oven at 350 degrees. You've already preheated your oven. Make sure the oven light tells you that the preheating is done. And we cook these for how long? 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so we'll Now, of course, you have to lick off your fingers. This is your reward. I have such tasty fingers. And then you go wash your hands. With soap, yes indeed, so that you don't get any of your horrible germs into the cookies that you're going to eat. Or anybody else could eat too. Especially if you're going to give them away for Christmas. Okay, so that was how to make chocolate chip oatmeal raisin cookies. And that was from the recipe, which is in the Joy of Cooking, which every woman needs. If you don't have one in your home, run out and get it, or give it to the woman you love. Okay, and it's on page 708. Quick oatmeal or wheat flake cookies. Ta-ta! Go out there and make Christmas cookies and give them to your neighbors. Put them on paper plates and cover them with aluminum foil and just show up and say, here, or leave them at the door and run away. If you've got children, they would really like doing that. And people love to get Christmas cookies. Okay, bye.